this video because I've been thinking a little bit about gardening today, and I think that a lot of you are, going out checking out. We're going into deep winter here in Maryland, and it is great. But I think that um, I'm going to have a very well-fed soil this year, like every year. I simply let the leaves and the weeds fortify and strengthen my soil. Um, they live, they produce tunnels with their roots, and then they die and fall to the ground and give the biology in the soil a lot of food to eat all winter long. So that's a plus, and it saves me lots of uh, lots of food for my biology. And everyone knows that the more biology you have in the soil, the better off you are. So, and certain types of biology, like certain plants. So I have a variety of different plants, which are weeds, and those weeds feed my garden. Um, Going to start to trade grapevines. I'm going to start using the cuttings and saving them for other people who want to garden and get it in their hands so they can grow grapes. So, because I've been seeing a lot of the prices, which I constantly get updates on, and it shows me the cost of what you're paying for these trees, vines, all types of plants, and it's just incredible cost associated with it now. Um, when we see the sales now, I go to Stark Brothers and I look at the sales, and I'm just so shocked when I see the same trees I used to get for um, a price that was at the time considered high. They're three times that now. And when you put a tree on your property, you definitely want to make absolutely certain that you um, make sure you select the right tree. That is very important. Trees in one person's yard may do extremely well in another county or another state, but in your area, do very poorly. Um, I had that experience myself with a Georgia peach tree. It never did well. It just always struggled here in my location. But my other Hale Haven peach trees did extremely well. Um, and I had another peach tree, was the Alberta. That one did extremely well. But um, it always produced peaches. I always started blooming extremely early, and that always concerned me. So right now, I'm looking at a very good medium where my trees are doing well because I picked the right trees for this location uh, that were um, because here in Maryland we tend to get a lot of hot weather and sometimes we get a lot of moisture and some grapevines don't do well in those areas. So I have the ones for my location that do well. And you can find this out a lot of times by checking with your extension office. You can also check with neighbors that may have fruit trees or may have grapevines, and you can find out what does well with them. I mean, you might have a person that has Fuji apples, been growing them for 10, 15 years, and they've done extremely well. And that's the apple you want to try to get if you like Fuji apples because they do well in that location. And always, um, care for your trees like they're babies, just like they're little babies. And you take care of them, you pay attention to them, and they will do well for you. And they'll feed you sweet, juicy apples. I ate a Bartlett pear about a week ago that was so good it just didn't make sense. Didn't make any sense at all. It was that sweet. It was purchased from an Amish um, farmer, and just by tasting it, this farmer knew what they were doing to grow this piece of fruit. They weren't extremely huge. They were just incredibly, incredibly sweet. Good to see you again, Mr. Price. Good to see you. And so I'm just saying, don't get taken uh, by buying the wrong tree and or paying too much for these trees. These trees are expensive now, folks. These are actually a serious uh, investment. These trees. Well, when I get my computer back up and running, folks, I've been messing with it, messing with it. I don't know why it won't boot up. I bought that blinked away too fast. I think it was a Honey Crisp. I think that's what you typed. Um, Honey Crisp apples. Is I have how many of them I have now? One, two, three. I think I may have three or four Honey Crisp. Oh, four. Yeah, yes, four. And I bought them because it's an incredible apple. Um, and I have Fuji, and I have another apple which is uh, Granny Smith. There is it's apple trees now that they're trying to push on what is it called? What is that company called? Stock Brothers. They have those 4-in-1 and 5-in-1 trees that they're pushing for $60 a piece. Um, and you got to know what you're doing with those trees. What's it? $49. Okay, I see it. $49. That is not too bad. But once the people here in these gardens start to say, you know what, I am going to graft some of these trees and I'm going to go online and sell them. They cannot, the regular big companies cannot compete with the cost because um, the big companies charging 55, $60 per tree. Um, and the thing about it is you can get these trees a lot cheaper if you get with a company that doesn't have a massive overhead and they sell the trees. All they would have to do is know what they're doing and put together a quality product. Um, because if you look at the tree, yeah, your time is worth something and the shipping and all. I could see that, but the material, which is a tree, the rootstock, is not very expensive depending on how you do it. Uh, I mean, because like if I wanted to sell grapevines, all I have to do to sell grapevines for the most part is collect my cuttings, put them in a sandy mix that's mixed with compost and sand, flower pot or tray, and stick them all in there, or you can stick them right in the ground. And when the spring comes in, they'll leaf out, get them to grow a bit, and sell them for like $5 a piece. Once that happens, um, you'll say, wait a minute. And if you grow out some of your cuttings, instead of having 8 plants, if let's say you had 40 plants giving you cuttings of a particular variety of grapevine that doesn't have um, a copyright on it, and you go ahead and you put those grapevines out, uh, like on you do an eBay or something like that. There are many other companies out there. I'm just mentioning that because I know of it. And you sell these plants. Well, you say to yourself, okay, all I did was cut them 8 inches tall, 10 inches tall, whatever, and stick them down in some of that mix mentioned earlier, and you grow it out, $5 a piece, $6 a piece, whatever, and you even your big box stores like Walmart are not going to be able to compete with you because Walmart got to keep going up in the price because they have such massive overhead. You're just selling people a cutting that normally you would throw away because you are um, definitely not going to use the cuttings if you when you do your pruning in the fall um, on your grapevines. Normally you throw that stuff away, but if you stuck it down in a pan, and let's say you got 80, 90 cuttings, out of 90 you get about 70 of them that take off and do well. And if you know how to package them up, um, you can absolutely make some money. You'd be amazed what $5 here, $5 there, $5 here, $5 there would do. Uh, and when it comes to feeding them, if you know how to feed them, you go out there, get you some grass, and you get you some leaves, and you compost them down, put them in a sock, drop in some rainwater in a barrel or something, and make all the plant fertilizer you want. Feed those trees that in a water a water solute a water mix, just rainwater, and just water them down. And when they leaf out real pretty, you take them and you go sell them. And you're not going to become a millionaire on it, maybe, but depending on how big you keep making it, you can make a whole bunch of money, extra money. You can make a whole bunch of extra money, and say to yourself, "I can't believe I hadn't done this before." Tree cutting is a little bit more involved, but basically the same practice. Because the big companies are going to do fine. They're going to always do fine because they can do them in mass numbers. You just want to do enough to say, well, if I sold 10 of them a week at $5 a piece, if I sold 20 of them a week at $5 a piece, that you get my point, and you're making some money. All right, folks, it's been the Morning Garden Show. Thank you very much for tuning in, and remember to keep on growing. This is the Morning Garden. I think I can do this.